Hello, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. So check ko muna po, no? Yung feedback nyo, if okay lang ba yung audio ko? Kindly type 1 if rinig nyo po ako. Loud and clear. Check ko lang yung chat box for your feedback. There. Type 1 if loud and clear po ba yung audio ko. Type 2 naman if hindi nyo ako naririnig. So, checking the chat box for any of your feedback po before we officially start our session for this evening. Oh, sorry. Chat box is currently disabled. Thank you for that feedback. You just nalagay niyo siya sa Q&A na sa part ng platform. Sige. So we will just enable the chat box. There. Or type na lang po muna sa question and answer na portion if clear ako. Type 1 if audible ako, rinig niyo ba ako? Or type 2 if hindi naman. Ayun. Thank you so much po sa mga feedback nyo. Nakikita ko na coming loud and clear. Salamat. So, kumusta po naman kayo? Type 3 po if you are excited to start this evening session. Ang bilis. Ayun. Marami na din nagta-type ng 3. So, excited na din po ako to start our session for this evening. But before I start, let me just share about myself and also about First Metro Securities. There. So by the way, let me just introduce myself. I am Monath Pangatungan, Visayas Business Development and Market Education Officer of First Metro Securities. So it's the stock brokerage arm of Metro Bank. But prior to joining First Metro Securities po, no, I was also a bank officer for about 8 years in a different company. And then I have started my investing journey when I was actually exposed sa stock trading competition organized by First Metro Securities, SEAP, and the Philippine Stock Exchange. So at that time, our group, we actually represented our school with that inter-school trading competition na it ranges for about 5 months na stock trading competition. So from there, from college days until this year, I have really seen the consistency of First Metro Sec in promoting financial literacy, in creating awareness on investment opportunities, which empowers individuals like you and even me and even institutions in order to attain their financial goals. And we envision to be the largest and most trusted investment solutions partner. So it is my honor and pleasure to serve you this evening. So just like this event, we also used to conduct our sessions po on-site and face-to-face. However, due to pandemic, we shifted to a webinar format. So luckily, we still get invited by different institutions. So just like this, private institutions, even public institutions, we still continued collaboration with Pag-ibig and then Bureau of the Treasury, even academic institutions. And aside from doing the collaboration with public, private, and academic institutions, we still continued our financial literacy webinars that we do every month. So just like today. So you would actually wonder, bakit ba namin ginagawa ito dito sa First Metro Securities? So the very reason is that it's because we want to improve the financial literacy survey that we have known, and I would like to share it to you guys. So first, 25% of Filipinos are knowledgeable on basic financial concept, or only 25% of the Filipinos are knowledgeable on basic financial concept. So this is very ironic po kasi every day tayong gumagamit ng pera. So sino ba naman sa atin ang hindi gumagamit ng pera, di ba? Pero how come only 25% of the Filipinos are knowledgeable on managing their finances, or do they or yung may concept sila about money management? And then second, 54% of the Filipinos do not budget. So majority of the Filipinos do not budget for. What it means is that if you don't budget, it is bound for financial trouble. Pag hindi mo binabudget yung pera mo, magkaka-problema ka in the future. And then 63% of the Filipinos do not have savings. So anong implication nun? Kung wala kang savings, so wala kang perang makukuha kapag may ma-encounter ka na emergency. So ano yung last resort mo? 'Di ba? Uutang. At kung wala ka ng ibang choice, uutang ka at a higher cost. So another reason siya na eventually you will encounter financial trouble in the future. Next, 64% of the Filipinos do not invest. So majority of the Filipinos are not able to take advantage of investing. So maximizing the opportunity that letting their money work for them. And 80% of the Filipinos retire poor. That's according to SSS. So I have this experience sa branch, no? Kasi I have assisted clients na mag-open ng SSS pension account nila. And then every month, pumupunta sila sa branch kasi normally they get the ATM card weeks after. So for the meantime, over the counter muna sila magwi-withdraw. So often I get complaints na yung SSS pension na nare-receive nila monthly is not sufficient for their daily needs. How much more for their medical expenses? Kaya importante din talaga nang mag-prepare for our retirement. And 98.5% of the Filipinos aren't insured. 1.5% lang ng mga Pinoy ay insured. Ano bang implication nito? If ikaw ay isang breadwinner, tapos na-hospitalize ka, or worst case scenario, namatay, anong mangyayari sa mga dependents mo, sa mga anak mo, sa asawa mo? So, aside from being emotionally hurt, di ba, magkakaproblema din sila financially. So, parang double kill. Emotionally pain pa sila, tapos makaka-encounter sila ng financial trouble din. So, with this financial literacy result sa mga surveys na World Bank, BSP Financial Inclusion Survey, and even data from SSS and the Philippines Insurance Commission, makikita po natin na there is really a need for us to reach as many Filipinos as possible para ma-improve yung financial literacy and eventually implement din nila sa life nila. That's why we have also formulated or crafted this webinar for this evening, One Paycheck at a Time, towards financial independence. For this evening session, our webinar, as stated earlier, yung title niya. So basically, we will talk about or discuss understanding peso cost averaging, setting up your peso cost averaging plan, the advantages and disadvantages of PCA, the common mistakes in peso cost averaging, and also let's take a look some of the case study of peso cost averaging, and how can First MetroSec can help in implementing PCA effectively. So far, so good, ba? Kindly type 1 if I'm making sense of all of the things I have just shared earlier. Kindly type 1 if so far so good pa. Okay, so there, thank you for your feedback. For the next slide, hold on. There. So, di ba, nagtatrabaho tayo, or for the businessman, they actually do business every day for them to generate income. So ako, empleyado, nagtatrabaho para maka-generate din ng income. For other people, once they receive their income, yung inuuna nila is yung mga luho nila, yung mga wants. After that, doon pa sila nagbabayad ng mga bills, mga needs nila. So parang they're living beyond their needs or beyond their income. So yung resulta, they don't have savings. So kulang yung pera or kulang yung income nila. So ano yung next resort nila? Uutang. So whether they use their credit card or uutang sila sa bangko or different na mga financial na mga companies nga na nagpapautang, mga lending institutions, plus, of course, babayaran mo din yung interest. So, ulit na naman, magtatrabaho ka, kikita ka, tapos igagastos mo na muna siya sa wants mo, babayad ka ng bills, tapos ang ending na ulit, walang savings. So, it's a cycle. Pero subukan kaya natin na parang i-shift natin yung cycle. Once magtrabaho ka, tapos na-receive mo yung income mo, bayaran mo muna ang sarili mo. And then, afterwards, bayaran mo yung mga needs mo. And if may sobra pa, then that's the time you can actually spend for your wants. Or just a small portion muna ng mga wants mo yung pwede mong mabili. So, hindi ka, before, diba, kung may pera ka, igagastos mo na siya on the things that you want. But with this kind of lifestyle, you will follow delayed gratification. So, for example, gusto mo before, once may pera ka, magta-travel ka na locally. Pero ngayon, with delayed gratification, sasabihin mo na sa sarili mo, kailangan ko muna maghintay ng, let's say, 6 months or 1 year muna para magkaroon ako ng budget para sa mga local travels ko or international travels. So, once na ganun na yung lifestyle mo na living within your means, there is delayed gratification, eventually, mabibreak mo na yung utang mo. Yung utang na specifically bad utang ha. Because alam naman natin merong good utang tsaka may bad utang. So yung bad utang, mabibreak free ka na doon. And then, cycle din siya ulit. O work ka na naman, tapos makaka-receive ng income, tapos may masasave ka. So, by the time that you are able to save sufficient money for your emergency fund, dun ka na din magsa-start with your investment or letting your money work hard for you. So that is the main focus of our webinar for this evening. So ano bang mangyayari pag nag-set aside tayo ng certain money from our every payday, every 15th or 30th of the month, kahit 1,000 pesos lang or 1,500 pesos lang. So let's try to explore. So with the once a month or twice a month na mag-set aside ng pera, no? Hindi lang natin alam, pero we are actually implementing this PCA or peso cost averaging na strategy. So if you have been following us with our Fund Smart Learning series, usually at the tail end po ng session namin, we just have one slide of peso cost averaging. But for our webinar this evening, we will elaborate it more. So it's just like setting aside money for investing at a fixed interval over time. So if you don't have time to be updated of the market, we are sharing this strategy named peso cost averaging strategy. So this actually addressed the fluctuation of the prices, so pagbaba or pagtaas. And we have this cost averaging strategy, the strategy of investing fixed amount of money at a regular interval, regardless of the current market trend. So bumibili ka during the market is discounted or down, tapos bumibili ka din when the market is rallying or up. So makikita nyo sa graph, no? There is consistency in buying, whether yung price ng investment is going up or going down. So PCA or peso cost averaging is a technique wherein investor consistently invest a fixed amount of money on a regular interval regardless of the market conditions. So by investing a fixed amount regularly rather than making lump sum investment. So meaning no lump sum investment, 1 million, one time mo lang siya i-invest. The PCA or peso cost averaging allows investors to buy more shares when prices are low and fewer shares when prices are high. So this approach averages out the cost per share over time. So more on the advantages of peso cost averaging. First one is it mitigates market volatility. So when peso cost averaging is said to mitigate market volatility, so ang ibig sabihin po nito, this is the investment strategy that helps smooth out the impact of market fluctuation on the overall performance of an investment portfolio. So the key way that the PCA mitigates market volatility is it reduces the risk of making large investment at inappropriate time of investing. Diba? Si PCA or peso cost averaging spreads out investment over time. So it reduces the impact of short-term market fluctuation on the overall performance of the portfolio. This is because the fixed investment amount buys more shares when the prices are low and fewer shares when the prices are high. So effectively averaging out the cost. Next one is that PCA has this disciplined approach to investing. So it basically refers to the systematic and consistent nature of the investment strategy. Kasi parang napupush ka talaga na mag-invest, pero yung struggle lang nito is that sana hindi mo malimutan na mag-invest once or twice a month. So the struggle here is the consistency because you need to do it every month or twice a month or even quarterly or semi-annually. So another thing is that you must also be systematic in investing. So you have this predetermined schedule for investing, as what I've stated earlier, monthly, quarterly, or even semi-annual na interval. So this systematic approach help investors build wealth steadily over time by continuously adding to their investment portfolio, which leads to the third na advantage of peso cost averaging, long-term wealth accumulation. Kasi over time, lalaki yung investment mo. Kasi every month or twice a month ka nagsaset aside ng pera. And aside from that, it also takes advantage of the compound growth. So PCA benefits from the power of compound growth. So yung mga investment returns, those returns are reinvested, leading to exponential growth of the investment over time. So the longer the investment horizon, the greater the potential for compounding to enhance your wealth accumulation. So it just basically means nga, the longer time you invest, the higher you accumulate in terms of wealth. And lastly, we have this averaging out cost or lowering average purchase cost. So I think I have just stated it earlier as well. So over time, na when the price is low, you buy more shares. And then when the price is high, you buy fewer shares. So on the average, you get to have the purchase price na lowered eventually. So that's how averaging out cost is determined. So I'll show you example on how it is done. So even though na nag-implement ka na ng PCA or peso cost averaging, or you prudently, you have this discipline na nag-i-invest ka talaga every month, there are still risks that the investors may encounter despite implementing this approach. So for the first one, we have this inflationary risk. So kahit may PCA ka na, may inflationary risk ka pa rin. So just like any other investment, inflation erodes the purchasing power of money over time. It means that yung value ng investment mo na 100,000, if may inflation, hindi na rin siya nag-value ng 100,000 over time. It may value to 98,000, 97,000. So, yung buying power ng pera mo is bumababa if there is inflation. So, while peso cost averaging can help investors accumulate assets, it may not fully protect against the effect of inflation. If yung investment returns fail to outpace the inflation rates. So that's the risk. The risk that the value of your money in real terms will be less than the purchasing power of your original investment. So we have this real return. It is what you earned on an investment after after deducting the inflation rate. So real return is lower than nominal return. So nominal return, we usually hear it when you are being offered by bonds. They say that the return for that certain bonds is 7%, 8%. So that is equivalent with the real return. But when you say, that's the nominal return rather. But when you say real return, you take into account inflation. So for example, 8% yung nominal return, you less the inflation of 6%. So 8% minus 6%. So the real return is 2%. So next, risk na hindi nawawala, interest rate risk. So that's the possibility that the investment value will decrease due to the changes in the interest rate. Third is market risk. So peso cost averaging does not eliminate the inherent risk of investing in the financial market. So yung market fluctuations can still lead to temporary decline of the investment value. So regardless of the PCA strategy being employed. So if the market experience prolonged downturn, so investors still may experience losses in that period. And some of the risks na hindi na nawawala despite the PCA implementation of the investor, we have this operational risk. So it is the risk resulting from the inadequate or failed internal processes, people, policies, and system. It can be because of the operation of that certain company wherein you invest, a publicly listed company, or perhaps in the fund manager of that investment company. So it may also be one of the operational risks. So these are just some of the risks na hindi nawawala kahit you still implement peso cost averaging na approach. Next is how you actually implement peso cost averaging. First of all, you need to set investment goals. So you begin by defining your investment objectives, including your financial goals, yung time horizon nyo, at saka yung risk tolerance. So understanding your investment goals will help you guide in your PCA strategy. So for example, yung investment goal nyo is that this is for your retirement fund, or another investment for education of your kids, or another investment, let's say, for your property in the future. And then afterwards, second, you choose the suitable investment. So you may take this client suitability assessment. You can check that in the First MetroSec platform. Once you click the fund button sa upper right corner of the platform, di ba, sa website. Doon yung makikita kung ano yung risk profile nyo. So that it will match as to what type of fund will be suitable for you, whether it's securities, equities, balance ba, bonds, funds, or the money market. So you select the investment that align with your investment objectives and risk tolerance. So it could be individual stocks, mutual fund, UITF, exchange traded funds, or other investment vehicles. And then third is that you select the amount and the frequency of investing. So you determine how often you want to invest and the amount that you want to invest each time. So yung common frequency for peso cost averaging, monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually. Pero in my case, I have tried quarterly. Then the amount you invest should be consistent and affordable and of course within your budget para ma-maintain nyo ang discipline of investing with PCA. And lastly, you set up automatic investment. So consider setting up automatic contributions to your chosen investment account so that you can facilitate the PCA strategy. So this actually ensures that your investments are made consistently and it reduces the likelihood of skipping contributions due to procrastinations or other reasons. Parang natamaan ako doon na. Kasi I tried PCA but there are instances na hindi ko siya na-maintain yung discipline. There are missed months na hindi ako nakaka-invest kasi nakakalimutan ko. That's my PCA strategy, hindi siya automatic. But you do have options with First Metrosec na automatic yung PCA na strategy nyo. And in addition, just to share na the beauty of PCA is actually long-term talaga. So PCA is ideal for long-term and based on the data of studying the performance of Philippine investment from 2000 to 2023, covering the 1-year time deposit, 1-year treasury bill, 5-year treasury bonds, and the Philippine Stock Exchange Index. Kung makikita nyo po, no, not a single investment is always above the other. So there are instances na PSA or the Philippine Stock Exchange Index is the highest from 2010 to 2023. And then there are also instances that the bonds are overperforming than the other. So let's say 5-year term bond on 2007 and 2008. But overall, in the long run, you can see that the initial investment, kasi yung sample nito is that you invested 100,000 in 2020, in 2000. And then after 2023, what happened to your 100,000? So in the long run, both bonds and equity market or equities, naka-generate siya ng 400,000. From 100,000, naging 400,000 na yung investment mo. Whereas the red one, the treasury bill, it's about 300,000. And for the 1-year time deposit, roughly mga 200,000 siya. But overall, in the long run, nag-accumulate pa rin ng return on investment, yung mga different investment instrument, whether it's time deposit na 1 year, treasury bills, 5-year na treasury bond, or the Philippine Stock Exchange Index. But overall, no, Philippine Stock Exchange Index potentially provides better return than the other investment classes, especially if long-term investing. Next, if you are not able, let's say, hindi kayo naka-invest in 2000, we also had this another study. So I studied this well-moving holding period. So if, for example, you just invested for 1 year, you just invested for 2 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10, 15, and 20. So we checked the Philippine Stock Exchange Index performed best. So as seen in the data, the percentage that PSEI performed best increased as the holding period increased. So if 1 year lang mo siya, 1 year mo lang siya nag-hold or nag-invest between 2000 to 2023, there is 43% chance that PSEI performed best. If 2 years lang, there is 55% chance that the Philippine Stock Exchange Index performed best. Whereas if you invested for 20 years, there was actually 100% na chance that PSEI performed best. So this is actually based on the 20 years na data ng Philippine Stock Exchange Index. So the longer holding period, the higher percentage that the Philippine Stock Exchange Index performed best. Next, we also tried to check the annualized return of the Philippine Stock Exchange Index over varying holding periods, whether 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 8, 10, 15, and 20 years. So kung makikita nyo po sa shorter time period, for example, 1 year, 2 years, 8 years, you actually expect negative performance fluctuation. So the shorter investment horizon, the larger the swing. And then in the longer time periods, like 10, 15, and 20 years, we see the lowest returns to be positive. Although kung makikita nyo po sa short-term period na 1, 2, and 8 years, it has the highest return na 63%, pero you still have also the possibility to get the lowest return na negative 48.3%. So the longer you get invested, the lowest returns will be positive na. So it started with 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years. And next, upon checking the standard deviation of the Philippine Stock Exchange Index in various holding periods, so yung standard deviation, this actually refers to the volatility of the returns. So if you can actually see na from 1, 2, 5, 8, 10, 15, and 20 years, the volatility decreases the longer your investment horizon. So it just basically means that risk declined in longer holding period. So that's why it is also great to follow peso cost averaging in the long run. And now let's try to check the common mistakes in peso cost averaging. First one, not sticking to the plan. So one of the primary principles of peso cost averaging is consistency. So some investors may abandon their peso cost averaging strategy during the market downturns because natatakot sila, uncertainty in the market. However, this can actually lead to missed opportunities to buy assets or investments at a lower price. Diba? Kung na-observe mo siya during pandemic, parang nakasale yung mga stocks and mga investment classes kasi mura talaga siya. Yun lang. May fear talaga yung mga investors. So, yung walang fear, they took the opportunity to buy more. Second, ignoring fundamentals. So, investors may focus solely on the price movements of the assets or investment they are investing without really considering its underlying fundamentals. So it is essential to assess the quality of the investment and also yung potential na long-term growth or income generation nila. So we can be guided by the first Metrosec research report in that platform. They actually provide there the fundamentals na for 1 year or 1 year na horizon. Third is timing the market. No, may mga investors na gusto talagang makita yung opportunity na bibila lang sila pa mababa yung price ng isang investment. Pero hindi ka naman talaga makakuha ng right timing eh. Attempting to time the market by adjusting the frequency or timing of purchases can undermine the effectiveness of peso cost averaging strategy. So investors may try to predict the market bottoms or peaks, which is notoriously difficult to do consistently. And then fourth, overlooking the fees and expenses. You also consider yung high fees or expenses associated whenever bumibili ka or nag-hold ka ng certain asset because it may eat the returns over time. So it is crucial to consider the total cost of investing, including the transaction fees. Diba? If you're familiar with the stock trading, transaction fee 0.295% when you buy, 0.895% when you sell. Management fees, it actually differs on the funds. It ranges from 0.25 to 1.5%. So depende siya sa fund. And the next one is lack of diversification. So failing to diversify across different assets or asset classes can increase portfolio risk. So PCA should be applied to a diversified portfolio to spread risk and captures the opportunities across various investments. So this is ideal for mga exchange-traded fund, mga pooled fund like UITF and mutual fund. Although I have tried it in one security and I'll share it to you later. And the sixth one is neglecting to review regularly. So you also need to regularly review and evaluate the performance of your PCA strategy, as this is essential for making adjustments as needed. So investors should assess whether the strategy is still aligned with your investment goals and tolerance. So these are just some of the common mistakes in applying peso cost averaging. So next one, I am showing to you the graph of Jollibee Food Corporation. So with that graph, ano bang year magandang mag-invest sa Jollibee? Kindly type the year. Check ko nga. 2020. Okay, 2020. Thank you so much for your feedback, no? So kayo lahat, 2020 yung sagot. And then, personally, in my case, I did not buy in 2020. I bought during 2019, o diba? Ang saya-saya. So yung nangyari sa Jollibee Food Corporation na stock ko. So I just want to share it with you. Eto siya. So my journey ako on average down with Jollibee Food Corporation. So I bought my JFC stock on 2019. It's not really, hindi to yung all-time high na price ha. If I'm not mistaken, roughly mga 320 or 330 yung all-time high ng Jollibee. At saka ako, nakabili ako at 315. So after ng pagbili ko, few months, after a month or two, then ko pa na-check kung ano na yung value ng GFC ko. Na-shock na lang ako na ang baba na ng presyo niya. So, hindi ko pa alam yung peso cost averaging strategy. Pero, I just took the opportunity na since bumaba yung presyo ng Jollibee Food Corporation, bakit bili na lang ako consistently? Quarterly, kasi quarterly lang ako may extra talaga na money nung time na yon. Kasi yung target ko is 8,000 every time I transact para ma-maximize ko yung transaction cost. So yung nangyari, on 2019, for 4 quarters, I consistently invested. So yun, may shares na 30, may shares na 40 na nai-invest ko. So yung price niya, of course, iba-iba yung prices niya. On November 2019, nag-average down na yung Jollibee Food Corporation, which is at 246.51. So from 315 pesos na cost per share, napababa ko siya to 246. Pero noong 2020, if you, di ba, nag-suggest kayo na dapat bumili on 2020, hindi ko yun nagawa out of fear. Of course, isa din ako sa mga investors na natakot. Hindi ko na-take advantage yung sale ng mga stock prices. Bumalik ako on November 2021. So, I bought again another 40 shares and then continued in March and then May. So, I stopped after sa May kasi mag-transfer na ako ng ibang company. So, I'm not expecting another extra money on the next quarter. So, I stopped. So, from 315 pesos, it went down to 232.17 na yung cost per share. So, ito yung average down na journey ko with Jollibee Food Corporation. And then, I tried to check, what if hindi kaya ako nag-stop na quarterly mag-invest? Ano kaya yung lalabas na average down cost? So, I simulated. So, ito siya yung nangyari. May March, May, August, at saka until August 2021 that simulated na may continuous, assuming may continuous na investment ako quarterly. If nagawa ko yun, sayang hindi ko nagawa. From 315 pesos na JFC stock price initially bought ko, dapat it would have been down to 195 pesos 0.64. If at the same time din ako nag-stop at May 2022. Di ba sayang? Sayang. So, isa ako sa natamaan na hindi consistently gumawa ng peso cost averaging. Or yung purpose ko lang talaga with the Jollibee Food Corporation is to average down the cost per share. Kasi every time na makita ko yung portfolio ko, pula talaga ang Jollibee Food Corporation. So yun siya, just to share the average down journey with my Jollibee stock. But of course, it's not really ideal to do PCA with just one stock. It is much better to implement it with a diversified na stocks. So I would suggest with First Metro Exchange Traded Fund or FMETF. Because of course, hindi lang siya invested to one company, but to the top 30 companies of the Philippine Stock Exchange Index. And as of this afternoon, price niya is 106 pesos per share. And of course, yung minimum na board lot niya, 10 shares. So, mga 1,060 pesos yung minimum na investment mo every time you invest with First Metro Exchange Traded Fund. And now, I just want to compare the PCA and lump sum when you invest in First Metro Exchange Traded Fund. No, sa 2019, makikita nyo, puro negative whether lump sum siya or PCA. So at least with PCA, negative 1% na yung return as compared with the lump sum, negative 1.34%. Now, on 2020, ang laki ng difference. On 2020, 14% ang return when you invested in 2020 in FMETF compared to lump sum investing sa 2020, wherein yung return on investment, wala kang return on investment kasi negative. Negative 7.85%. Diba? Makikita mo yung disparity between doing lump sum investing and peso cost averaging. Now, on 2021, still, PCA, return on investment is 5%, whereas yung lump sum, negative 0.64%. On 2022, both na FMETF, na lump sum, and PCA, negative yung return. Negative 1% si PCA, whereas yung sa lump sum, negative 6.74%. On 2023, both are positive, pero mas mataas pa rin yung peso cost averaging for PCA. So PCA is 2%, whereas yung lump sum is 1.18%. So with this graph, you can actually see the difference when you invest lump sum or when you invest through peso cost averaging strategy. So you might better to take advantage peso cost averaging strategy than doing lump sum investing. So another example, how you do the PCA the proper way. For example, you have scheduled every 15th of the month, kasi every 15th of the month yung payday mo, once a month, let's say lang. And then you invest 10 shares for 10 years. The product is FMETF. Total contribution that you have invested in FMETF is about 120,000. Assuming with a 8% na average growth rate. Pero if you could actually remember yung mga previous na slide natin, possible naman siya, especially for longer term, na 8% average growth rate. The projected portfolio value is actually 180,000. Now, let's try to compare another horizon. Let's say every 15th of the month, but now you are investing 1,500 per month for 5 years, 15 years, and as well as 25 years. So the total amount you have invested in 5 years' time is 90,000. 15 years' time, it's 270,000. And in 25 years' time, it's 450,000. And as you can see, total return for 5 years, 120,000, including your investment. For 15 years, 750,000. And then for 25 years, it's 2,750,000. So the longer you get invested, the higher that you receive yung return ng investment mo. So it means the longer, the better. So now, how can First Metrosec help in implementing your peso cost averaging strategy? We have actually this service. We call it Voluntary Investment Program. It is actually designed for you to save time and effort in growing your portfolio because hindi nyo siya manual na bibilhin. First Metrosec will do it for you. You can redeem or sell it anytime. And of course, no penalties in case na insufficient yung pera nyo or buying power nyo by the time na scheduled na yung investing nyo. So how does it work? Again, you just decide how much you invest, how frequent you invest. So you have the option na every 15th or 30th of the month or both, and where to invest. So the benefit of the voluntary investment program is that you have here discipline investing. Everything is automated. Instant diversification and hassle-free. Because by the time that you have already enrolled in the voluntary investment program, wala na kayong gagawin manually in investing. You just need to ensure na funded yung investment na account nyo sa First Metrosec. And how you also do that? So of course, yeah, for example, yung payroll namin is in Metrobank. So I also scheduled transfer every payday namin, every 15th and 30th of the month na magta-transfer siya automatically dun sa First Metrosec na investment account ko. You can also do that with your other banks, especially sa mga big banks like BPI, BDO, or even yung mga Union Bank. So we just explore on the scheduled fund transfer of your bank. And aside from FMETF, you also have the opportunity to choose from the pooled funds or our fund smart, whether you invest in a FAMI, Atram, Equity, Sun Life, ALFF na mga funds. So over 132 UITF and mutual funds available in First Metro Sec. You can check the best performing na funds in our FundSmart platform, whether year-to-date performance for the past 3 years, for the past 5 years, easily sortable yung funds namin sa FundSmart. And how you can actually enroll in VIP, I will share to you later the link because you just only need to go to this website and then fill out this request form indicating how much you want to invest, or what is the fund that you want to invest, and when do you want to invest. So 15th or 30th of the month or twice a month. So for you to be able to invest in our voluntary investment program, of course, you need to have a First MetroSec account first. If you still don't have a First MetroSec account, I will share to you the account opening procedure via let's via website or just the platform na lang. Hold on for a second. Share ko lang. Hindi siya nag-play. Okay, so I have trouble playing the video, but you can still see that at the tail end of the webinar. I-share ko lang kung ano ba yung requirements na kailangan nyo. You just need to prepare the government-issued ID, proof of residence, mga utility bills, kahit hindi under your name. The important thing is that yung declared na address, magmamatch siya sa utility bill submitted. Proof of bank account, so yung portion ng account name and account number, yung importante na need i-capture. And then tax identification number and proof of initial deposit. So instead of 5,000 pesos, for now, you can already invest with just 1,000 pesos. Just make sure now you use the seminar code PCA for peso cost averaging. So just be sure when you get asked, where did you know about us? Kindly indicate seminar code PCA. And then you may also follow us in our socials. We are in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Viber as well. So you may screenshot or scan the QR code so that you can follow us on our socials. And after this webinar as well, we also have the gift series next week and also the Fun Smart Learning series. And lastly, for customized, gamified, award-winning market education programs exclusively designed for your company, school, or organization, just send us a formal invite via marketeducation@firstmetrosec.com.ph. And now I am ready to answer your questions. Let me just check the Q&A portion of there. Okay, for the first question, does PCA works on funds or do it differ on different funds like index fund, bond fund, or actively managed fund? So actually, PCA works on fund as well. It's actually better on pooled funds because it's already diversified. Whether it's equity fund, bond fund, index fund, or even yung mga actively managed fund. So it still works for pooled funds. Tanong po, sa inyong karanasan sa PCA, talaga po bang epektibo in long-term investment? What if gusto ko lang for short-term, gaya ng 3 to 5 years? Maganda ba? Well, based on my experience, no, average down lang naman talaga yung purpose ko with Jollibee Food Corporation. But it is also, marireplicate mo siya with the other funds. With that time horizon na from 2019 to 2020, 2022. Even 3 years lang siya. Pero with 3 years time, may return na yung investment ko. Or rather, with Jollibee Food Corporation, from 315 na cost ko, it went down to 232 na lang. So with that, pwede ko na siyang mas-sell actually yung Jollibee Food Corporation ko at saka ma-realize yung gain. So, possible naman siya with 3 to 5 years at saka, pero much better talaga siya if long term. But it's still okay with 3 to 5 years na time horizon. But I would not suggest na equities. Better with FMETF or mga pooled funds. Kasi risky yung nagawa ko with the Jollibee Food Corporation. Kasi yung main goal ko lang talaga was that to average down. And it was successful. Kasi currently, magkano na ba yung Jollibee? Around 235 ba siya ngayon? But this year, it went as high as 260. So, natatempt na din akong isell siya. Pero with First Metrosec kasi na research report, the target price is 300. So wala pa naman din akong purpose once maka-receive ako ng sale proceeds. So much better, doon na lang muna siya. Baka aabot pa ng 300. So as to the question na if pwede ba siya shorter term na 3 to 5 years, yes, possible. And it would be ideal na balance and bond fund siya for 3 to 5 years. Kasi if you could remember yung mga graphs na na-share ko sa Philippine Stock Exchange or equities, at least 10 years or more siya naka-generate na return on investment na positive. So I hope I answered your question. Okay, next question. What if peso cost averaging is set automatically? After few months or years, you forgot to fund it. What will happen? So, walang mangyayaring peso cost averaging. So, for example, with VIP. So, earlier dun sa slide ng voluntary investment program, walang charge na mangyayari. At kung hindi funded yung First Metrosec account mo, so hindi magpupush through yung voluntary investment program. So for that certain period, let's say, sabihin natin, April and May, hindi mo na fund. So on those 2 months, hindi magte-take effect ang voluntary investment program. But let's say on June, na fund mo, so hindi natin i-accumulate yung April and May sa June. So yung ma-implement lang is yung June na voluntary investment program na 1,500 lang or yung magkano yung naset mo na amount. So I hope my answer is clear. I answered your question. Next naman. Would the VIP allow interbank? Ang alam ko, BPI. BPI na automatic fund transfer through bills payment from BPI to First Metro Investment. So you just need to enroll billers sa BPI. So the account name, yung name mo, and then the biller number or reference number is your First Metrosec account code. And then you schedule it. Ang alam ko sa BPI kasi maximum of 1 year lang siya. So I have also this scheduled fund transfer sa BPI. Chine-check ko siya every December or January kasi alam ko na ma-expire na yung scheduled fund transfer ko. But that was mga 2 years ago ha. So hindi ko sure if until 1 year lang yung scheduled fund transfer ngayon ng BPI. But yes, you may do with BPI. I'm not sure with PNB and UBP. There. Next question. Kailan magiging available yung mutual funds sa First Metrosec mobile app? Ang pagkakaalam ko with our product dev, naka-queue na po siya. So meaning for implementation process, but I'm not yet sure as to the timeline. But if ever available na po siya, sasabihin naman po namin, we will notify you through our socials or through our emails as well. How much First Metrosec, how much First Metrosec fees every transaction? So for FM ETF, still the same po since it's still a stock. So when you buy, 0.285%, and then when you sell, 0.895%. For the UITF and mutual fund, there's no fee for the voluntary investment program. What is charged lang sa inyo in UITF and pooled funds or the mutual fund is yung management fee, which is already net na po sa NAV po nyo or NAV PS. So, yun siya. VIP for FMETF, similar lang when you buy and sell stocks. And then the VIP fees for pooled funds, wala po. Yung management fees lang talaga. Next, regarding the peso cost averaging, how about yung PCA sa CHP or home from IPO price? So ito po siya, no? Let me just check with our research team because usually we get insights from our team to check the fundamentals. Kasi as what I've stated earlier, if PCA sa stocks, napaka-risky niya kasi isa lang yung stock, hindi siya diversified unlike FMETF and other pooled funds. But you may provide me your email address and I'll get back to you next week regarding the insights ng First Metrosec research report namin or First Metrosec na research team namin. Ino-note ko lang. Hold ha. And please send me your email address para I can provide you feedback. Next question, is the VIP enrollment available in the First Metrosec app? Hindi po. It's through website lang. So, I'll provide the link. Hold lang ha. The link for the VIP enrollment. I'll share it sa chat box. VIP. Okay. So here is the link for the voluntary investment program. Saan mo yung chat? Ito siya. There. Pag na-click nyo lang po yan, may i-fill out kayo na form. Then, according to our customer support, it will be implemented within 24 hours. Just in case hindi siya ma-implement eventually, you may just contact our customer support for a follow-up. Pero, yun. And then, I think, last na lang na question. Okay, hindi pa lugi sa cost yung 1,000 pesos lang sa FMETF. So, that's actually a good question. So, if you will consider yung cost na 0.295%. That's applicable kung around 8,000 ang trade value ng isang transaction cost for FMETF. Pero if lower than that, so your fixed cost is 22 pesos and 40 cents, including the tax. So, i-compute mo siya kung magkano ang dapat na return mo para hindi ka malugi sa every transaction cost mo. So, let's say 1,022.40 divided by 1,000 pesos. So, around 2.24% yung cost for that 1,000 pesos lang na transaction. So, yung goal mo is that yung return on investment for that FMETF should be higher than 2.24%. So, mas mataas yung hurdle or yung goal mo na return compared sa na-achieve mo yung 8,000 na trade value para 0.295% talaga yung transaction cost. So, yun siya. Yun ang i-consider mo para hindi ka malugi every time na bibili ka ng 1,000 pesos worth lang na FMETF. You just make sure na by the time you sell it, it's beyond 2.24% na capital gain. So, i-consider mo pa yung selling cost. Sabihin natin, nakaabot ka na ng 8,000 pesos sa selling cost. So, ano na lang siya? 2 times 2.24 plus 0.895. So, dapat yung capital gain mo is more than 3.13% or 3.14% kasi 3.135 siya. So, yung goal mo is yung capital gain is 3.14%. So, yan yung implication. Kung mas mababa sa 8,000 yung trade value ng FMETF mo, yung goal mo na capital gains dapat mas mataas. So, I hope yung answer is clear. And I answered your question. Okay. So, okay, last one na lang. Where can we check the history of order transaction if FMS Sec Go app? You can check it via website po. Kasi sa First Metro Sec Go, 1 day lang na transaction yung makikita nyo. There. Okay. So, I would love to check your feedback po. Please scan the QR code or have a screenshot so that we can get the feedback. Because your input is essential to us, especially in helping us improve our services and better meet your needs. So we appreciate your contribution and we look forward to implementing these positive changes based on your valuable feedback. So please, I'll give you a few seconds to screenshot, scan the QR code before I formally close our webinar. So once again, on behalf of First Metro Securities, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to you guys for sharing your 1 hour of your precious time to us. So we sincerely hope you learned a lot and that these insights and lessons will make your investment journey not just more profitable, but also more enjoyable. Again, this is Monat Pangatungan, and with our tech support team, we hope to see you again in our future learning events because over here at First Metro Securities, we put your future first. Have a great evening and keep safe. Happy dinner everyone sa hindi pa nakakain.